All right. Possibly the most interesting car on the racetrack today. Certainly the first one I have seen in a time attack event. We got Cameron here with his Model 3 Performance. What's happening, brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
Tell me all about how the Model 3 Performance and its freshly released software update has performed on the track today. I need to know all about it.
Yeah, we did Laguna Seca a couple months ago without track mode, and the car would do 1 or 2 laps and start to kind of lose power as the motors got hot. We got track mode yesterday from Tesla via software update, installed overnight at the hotel, and now the thing can do 6-7 laps, no problem. And
So what is that reprogram? Because you'd think that a motor getting hot is a piece of hardware. What has changed?
from what I know about it, I think they use the AC system to open up all the pathways to the motors and the battery to pre-cool it all. You can hear the fans going right now. So it's ready to go.
So it's actually using the climate control compressor to cool down the batteries as sort of an auxiliary cooling unit.
Yeah, that's my understanding. It also does a lot on stability control and also the drive motors working together to take an amateur like me and get me 2 or 3 seconds faster to how a pro would drive using that like Tesla-built stability control.
That's super interesting. The other thing, when I've driven electric cars on the racetrack is, when I drive an electric car, a Model S really hard, I just smoke right through the batteries. So how much power are you how much range do you have on the racetrack?
Well, here we're running pretty much a full session, and we're cooling off. Actually, front tires are our biggest problem right now, so we're going 2 laps and cooling off front tires and then coming back. And so we're using about 40% of the charge per session.
That's kind of a lot.
It's kind of a lot, but we're able to charge here with a 50 amp that comes with the car. You can plug it into an RV plug, and then we can go 10 minutes away to the supercharger and get 100% at lunch. So we're able to actually keep the car charged.
So can you run 2 sessions in the morning and then go to lunch and then 2 sessions in the afternoon?
You could. We're trying to keep the car as close to 100% as possible because that's where the battery gives you the most power. But if you're more of an amateur, you could absolutely do that. Have no impact to your track day, just a little bit less performance as it gets down to 20 or 30% charge.
And then you're going to drive it home.
Absolutely, and it's going to autopilot me all the way home, drive itself, and I said.
What is Mountain Pass Performance? Are they modifying these things?
Yeah, Sasha Anas, who owns Mountain Pass, he's a big tuner here. He's one of his guys has a track record at 137 and a really built Integra, so he knows racing. He started a year ago with Mountain Pass to start tuning EVs, and where they really kind of lack out of the factory is brakes and tires and wheel suspension setup. So he's developed a custom coilover setup for this car that really makes it handle great. It's a little bit soft out of the factory. This makes so the car has a lot of power out of the factory, but it also has the handling and stopping ability.
I also noticed you're running Pilot Sport 4S's, which is not what comes with this car from the factory. Have you done much street driving on these tires?
Yeah, they come with a Tesla-specific 4S from the factory that are supposed to be more efficient. These ones, we test the efficiency, they're pretty good. So these are just tire rack 4S's, and they're fine.
Well, my main question is obviously designed to give you handling, but also maximize that range via maybe a harder compound or whatever. Yeah. When you put the off-the-rack versions of the 4S on, do you have any noticeable loss in range in day-to-day?
I tracked the stock tires at Laguna Seca. I'm tracking these here. We've also done some efficiency testing. I don't see a huge gulf between the 2 tires, to be honest. Now, Tesla knows a lot of detailed data, but in my experience, the stock 4S seems pretty similar to the one they get shipped with the car.
Do you find, so every time I've taken a Tesla, and I haven't done a Model 3 yet on a racetrack, but I've done Model S and the original Roadster on racetracks, I've found that the most, as neat as they are, and the car, it's fast, the battery on the floor is good low center of gravity, the dynamics are pretty solid, but I've found the trickiest part of tracking an EV is judging your corner entry speed, because in a regular sports car, it's okay, turn 1 is 3rd gear, turn 2 is 2nd gear, and that's how you judge it. Here it's like, well, there's no gears and there's no sound, so do you find yourself staring at the speedometer more to go, okay, it's 56 miles an hour?
Yeah, it makes you be a better driver because a lot of that, all those tempos of shifts and the engine note, it's kind of like tempos to a song. And this you have to kind of be able to freestyle and kind of use different markers. And I've picked up like 2 seconds here looking at data, listening to the tire. I've been here 2 years in a row and I got 1st and 2nd place the last 2 years in a gas car. But I'm actually becoming a better driver by driving an EV because I can listen to what the car is telling me.
Well, I do find it's a good point. When you don't have an engine to listen to, you actually can hear, oh, that noise is from the left front tire. It's not just some arbitrary tire. You can actually pinpoint that tire noise, which is really interesting. You mentioned telemetry. Is there a built-in telemetry program with this, or are you running an aftermarket, like an AIM system or something?
There is built-in. I mean, so we had another guy on track, and you could see where he was on track as well as the speed. And so we could see, oh, he's doing 120 into turn one here. It's not real time, it's not true telemetry, but you can get some basic data like state of charge, speed, and all that. There is no really way to hook up aftermarket telemetry at this point, but I'm sure that'll change as you get more popular.
Okay, cool. We have an announcement from the booth. We will be back in a second with Cameron learning about the Model 3 on track.
All right, for those guys tuning